I invite you on an adventure where you will learn how big companies tried to manipulate and intimidate the developer creating game Black Myth Wukong, and whether it was worth following their own values or not. Let's begin. Black Myth Wukong was announced in 2020 and was being created by a very small team. It was intended to be an action RPG introducing Souls-like elements, which makes sense given the massive success of Dark Souls series. The trailer gained 2 million views on its first day, and in the following year, the creators announced that they were moving from old Unreal Engine 4 to newer Unreal Engine 5, which you might recognize, for example, from Fortnite. The game is based on a classic novel Journey to the West, so for Polish people it's like being able to play Souls-like games based on Balladyna. Unfortunately, the developer path was not paved with roses or raspberries. Shortly before the embargo on game materials was lifted, streamers received guidelines on what they should and should not talk about. While having fun was encouraged, some interesting restrictions were included, such as prohibitions on discussing COVID-19 and quarantine, China, politics, or even feminist propaganda. God damn it, my favorite joke about feminist on quarantine in China just went out to the basket. This sparked some negative reactions, and I was quite surprised, especially by the last phrase. However, after reading the article that IGN smeared about game science, so basically the developer and producer of the game, everything became clear. In November 2023, article appeared online talking about how the developer history of sexism is complicating its journey to the West. For a while it went unnoticed, but recently, with the approaching release, content creators started paying attention, mostly Chinese, and the whole drama erupted. The article was written poorly and without understanding the Chinese language, mistranslating posts on the X platform, and accusing Black Myth Wukong creators of sexism. In Polish we have "where there is 6 women cooking, there is nothing to eat", and it's like this article would say that it's also sexist. While in Russia they have saying that means "do something like a white person". Try to explain that to IGN. Similarly, in this article the author tried to portray the Chinese gaming community as sexist. Usually, this form of criticism, so taking things literally and getting outraged over even the smallest deviations from one's worldview, was met with positive responses, especially on Twitter. However, in this case, gamers decided to express their dissatisfaction, leaving 3 times as many dislikes to likes on the video where IGN showcased gameplay footage. This was because IGN still didn't apologize for the article that outraged gamers even outside of Chinese culture. As a result, their channel began deleting unfavorable comments, which is understandable, it's their channel, but luckily they couldn't remove all of those dislikes. But this unfortunate article wasn't the only problem for Black Myth Wukong. I don't know if you've heard of a company called Sweet Baby Incorporated, probably you heard, but they offer companies support in writing game scripts, ensuring diversity in terms of skin color, gender identity, etc. This company tried to pressure Game Science, so the developer, into paying 7 million in exchange for providing a control script that introduced all these modifications. You have to understand, this rumor is backed up by a real evidence of the head of this organization actively encouraging employees to coerce companies into working with them and talking about how they intimidate companies into cooperation. Unfortunately for them, the creators of Black Myth Wukong refused, exposing themselves to attacks and accusations of sexism from this company. Not only because story wasn't diverse enough, but also because the team working on the game was too similar? Too Chinese? Well, of course, because apparently it's more important for your game quest to be designed by a transgender black woman who is deaf on one ear than for the quest to be logical and well crafted. Makes total sense. This could have influenced previously mentioned article from IGN, but we will never know the truth. Who paid who? This move against Sweet Baby Incorporated might have been a terrible decision for the creators of Black Myth Wukong. But history is written by victors, so let's summarize how Black Myth Wukong performed. As I mentioned at the beginning, this game turned out to be a huge success, selling over 10 million copies in 3 days, with up to 2.2 million players playing it simultaneously on Steam during the first day. This is a completely shocking result, showing how much gamers were craving such a game. You know, well crafted, not trying to push anything on you. Even more so because they are just Steam numbers, and Black Myth Wukong also launched on PlayStation 5. The game's primary success is owed to China, of course, where 90% of players are from. It's the same like with Witcher. If you didn't count them, instead of 2.2 million we'd have 220,000, and that's all. Perhaps, if they had followed all of these demands, the game would have ended up banned in China and would have not been a success. The success even extended on Sony, as the demand for Black Myth Wukong is so massive that PlayStation 5 is selling in China like crazy, doubling its sales. It's hard to deny that this game will go down in the gaming history as a significant success, and it's up to you to decide what role the creator decisions played in that success. I leave comments to you, many thanks for watching this video, and if you found something valuable in it, you can leave a like or a follow. It would make me very happy. Until next time.